Greetings, everyone, and welcome to Yahoo Comment Contempt Volume 2. And I do mean everyone, even you. Yes, you know who you are. Right now, at this very minute, you're sitting there in your underpants picking your nose with the video playing on a minimized tab while trolling for anime costumes for your cat. I assure you, those costumes will still be there in 10 to 15 minutes when this video is over. So go ahead and bring the video back up because you're going to miss some of the comedy if you don't. Dear viewers, I feel it's a good time to introduce the new subscribers to the glory of Yahoo Comments. I know it's hard to go back and look at the previous videos. Scrolling up or swiping is really taxing. I get it, new subs. I totally understand. But don't worry, because we're going to get you caught up. Now, Yahoo's relevance is hanging by a thread. They've hoarded themselves out to the internet to become the place where online news source comes to die. Other websites use Yahoo as a septic tank to deposit the worst of their stink pudding. The people who read these articles, if in fact they actually do read them, instead of just skipping right to the comments section, hate them with a passion. And they're not going to beat around the bush to let you know either, as we are about to explore. Once again, the sodium content is going to be at elevated levels, but I'm going to wade through the salt for you guys anyway. And of course, these comments don't necessarily reflect my own opinion. Before we jump right into it today, I did ruffle some feathers in the JM Truth review video. I'm going to take a minute to smooth things out. Apply a little virtual ass cream, if you will. I'll try not to call him a weirdo, but the guy comments on most of my videos. What's his name? Where's that comment? Ah, yes. He's called Why Would DJ Ablomai. Some kind of musician, I guess. Why Would DJ Ablomai says, I don't appreciate you talking shit about the Buick LeSabre. My grandma drove one for 20 years. Oh, that was weird. I'm sorry. I'm not sure what happened. I had a little bit of nasal congestion, but anyway, that's all taken care of now. My apologies for disrespecting Grandma DJ Ablomai's land yacht. I'm sure you have a lot of fond memories. Our first article is Tiger King star Carol Baskin is selling coronavirus masks. Ma Arcade Davis says, wear this mask and your COVID systems will disappear faster than my first husband. Ma Arcade Davis, that's allegedly disappeared faster than her first husband. Even though we all know that dude's fucking dead. Woo and Dirk, IND456, says, where's the one with a drawing of a big cat with an arm hanging out of its mouth with a clever saying under it? Maybe, I ate Dawn at dawn. You know, something hilarious and stuff. Yes, that's very droll of you, Woo and Dirk, IND456. Do you suppose cats think everything tastes like chicken also? Old's Shul says, well, now I have to check under my bed before going to sleep. Thanks, nasty cat lady. Old's Shul, if she's under your bed, you're a goner anyway. You better let her take you while you're sleeping. It'll be less painful for you. Joe Nathan S. says, the Hillary Clinton of big cat enthusiasts. Yikes, Joe Nathan S., that's a scary thought. Although, maybe we should have somebody investigate Bill Clinton. Maybe he's been replaced by some kind of android. Babarakis says, she's going to use the proceeds to find out where her husband is. JK, she killed him. Yes, Babarakis. It seems likely her husband's will was forged, so she might need that money for legal fees. Our next article is Tom Cruise teaming up with Elon Musk, NASA, to shoot action movie in space. Arm Yo Phone asks, will Zeno be making a cameo? Well, that's the thing, Arm Yo Phone. Zeno is in every Tom Cruise movie. You just need special They Live style Scientology glasses to be able to see him. G-Reg says, they should do Major Tom, and that way they won't need a return module. Alright, G-Reg, I'm not sure if you heard by now, but Tom Cruise, he's nuttier than a fucking cheese log. If you leave him in orbit, he's just gonna ride a satellite right back down. Lithium to Carbon says, I thought the point of CGI was that it could make it look like the real thing, and you wouldn't have to spend $1 billion to make it. It's why they didn't actually clone dinosaurs to make Jurassic Park. Alright, Lithium from Carbon, here's the thing. I don't know if you know this, but Tom Cruise is fucking batshit insane. Literally, if you look up crazy in the Urban Thesaurus, his name will show up as a synonym for crazy. RND asks, does any SpaceX rocket have the power to lift Tom Cruise into orbit? I imagine the steel balls he's bringing along are pretty darn heavy. R&D, I have to agree with you there. I've seen him in Mission Impossible Fallout. Here's a screenshot of him dangling underneath a helicopter. I don't know where he keeps him. He must have had some kind of Scientology surgery where they remove some of his internal organs so he can store his balls inside. He certainly didn't lose them to Katie Holmes in the divorce, that's for sure. The 17th letter of the alphabet says Mission Impossible Uranus. 17th letter of the alphabet, you are just skipping right to the porn parody, aren't you? You just want to see that zero-G space fucking. Well, I can't say as I blame you. Bill Flatier TH says, this will be as real as that car Elon sent up to space, or otherwise known as 100% fake. Bill Flatier TH, if you are actually a flat earther and not just a troll, you are dumber than Tom fucking Cruise. I didn't see flat earth as a synonym for crazy in the Urban Thesaurus, but it definitely should be there. Our next article is, normal people producers fire warning shot at Pornhub as pirated sex scenes spread online. West Hat No W says, wow, I have to commend them for their marketing campaign. Sure do, West Hat No W. Yeah, way to go, BBC. You're following in the grand footsteps of the Kardashians. I hope you're proud of yourselves. Go Ardu N asks, deeply disrespectful? And how did you assume it would be portrayed when you filmed a 30-minute clip of people doing the nasty? Artistic? Well, Go Ardu N, I don't think it was one 30-minute clip of straight fucking. That seems a little much even for the BBC. I think it was 30 minutes gathered throughout the entire season. I do get your point though. I don't think many Pornhub videos would be screened at the Cannes Film Festival. J. says, fire a warning shot. LOL, really? Perv reporting never ceases to amaze me. J. this is Yahoo we're talking about here. They've got a long way to go even to match the integrity and eloquence of even Fox News. R. Igor says, stopped watching television 30 years ago because I was sick of the disinformation and moral turpitude. Now I read an article that certain scenes were pirated as suitable as hardcore porn at Pornhub. I have not missed much. Another example of Americans who are too core worthless to understand that sex is a serious business, not an entertainment, with long-term consequences. R. Igor, Your Majesty, it looks like you did miss something. This is not an American show, this is the BBC. But thank you for coming down off your high horse to lecture us about morality by leaving a comment on the pinnacle of internet journalism websites. You're obviously well aware of Pornhub. The lady doth protest too much, methinks. And it is very well understood how serious sex is as a business. Allah N says, when the only redeeming feature of your series is the sex scenes, you must protect that content at all costs. Why buy the series when Pornhub will give you the milk for free? That is a very good point, Allah N. If you got a good show with good characters and good stories, people are going to watch it regardless of the TNA content. I don't seem to recall the Game of Thrones producers blasting any warning shots that the smut junkies had ruined their ratings. And moving on to our next article, the Kardashian family gets brand new iPhones dropped off every week in quarantine to film themselves for keeping up with the Kardashians. Bobby S. says, during the pandemic, most of us have found out what is relevant in our lives. These people are not. Bobby S., I really wish that were true, but people still keep throwing money at them like they have the Black Death, and dollar bills are the only cure for it. Beetle says, perfect Halloween photo. More plastic and fake injections make this clown literally scary. Beetle, you're right, this is scary. I'm not sure if it's a Halloween poster, though. It could be the cast photo for the next attempt at a doomed Universal Monsters cinematic universe. Canna Diana S.A. asks, can't someone food poison their pizza? Canna Diana S.A., that's a very good question. Although, do you really think poison works on Botox and silicone? Haris Nutches says, can't they just upload videos instead of recording footage on each phone and sending it in? Haris Notches, they absolutely could do that if they weren't brain-dead imbeciles. If it takes one or two more taps than Snapchat or Instagram, they're not going to be able to figure that shit out. Saint Argazerkt says, this is awesome. I totally support the Kardashians doing this. They're doing their part to help the economy. I am a new fan. Disclaimer, I'm an Apple shareholder, but that really has nothing to do with my support. By the way, I'm selling a bridge. Anyone interested? Well, that sounds legit, St. Argazerkt. If you can't trust a mega corporation like Apple, who can you trust? And regarding the bridge you're selling, I have heard the bridge market is very healthy these days, so I may be interested in that. Send me an email and let's do some business. Article number 5. Chrissy Teigen gets must-see card from daughter Luna after breast implant removal. Lick My Balls says, oh god, it's back. 2 whole days without this nobody. Her check to Yahoo must have cleared along with lemons. Lick My Balls, it doesn't seem like you're awfully happy to see this article. Maybe you should tell us how you really feel. And while you're at it, let us know what you have against the zesty yellow fruit. Okay, Lahambi says, oh, the humanity of it all. Nordic Jesus, save us. Okay, Lahambi, maybe we are appealing to the wrong person to help us out. I think Viking Jesus definitely has what it takes to handle this situation. BV says, not many people have both a breast reduction and a brain reduction like Chrissy. BV, you may be onto something, but how do we know she has a brain in the first place? I mean, you can't reduce something that you don't have. Mara YL says, sorry, but a 4-year-old does not think to say or write that. Plus, a 4-year-old has to be told each letter to write, and many times reminded what the letter looks like. Copied. This was all the parents looking for attention. It could have been a simple, mommy is going to have surgery and my breasts will be sore for a little while, giving a 4-year-old way too much information. Marwyl, I agree and disagree with you. I know a 4-year-old personally, and this is something that a 4-year-old could definitely say without being prompted. But writing it down on the other hand, absolutely not. Maybe the little girl actually did say something like this, but Chrissy was really high on pain meds, so she wrote it down. And then she promptly forgot that she wrote it down herself, and thought it was her daughter's note. If a 4-year-old was going to write something like that down, I think this is our best case scenario of what it would look like. C. Razzie says, just need to pull out those cheek implants, which look on the verge of exploding. C. Razzie, I agree. Those cheeks look like they're approaching critical mass. I've seen something like this before. It does not end well. And finally, we come to our last article of the day. Vienna man fined €500 for deliberate, massive flatulence. Thegum Fanatic says he can either pay the fine or eat a huge plate full of fried cabbage and bratwurst and hold everything in for 24 hours. Decisions. Thegum Fanatic, you are a madman. You just want to see somebody explode in a cloud of nauseous green gases.
Some men just want to watch the world burn.
George Washington says, I heard it through the grapevine that the loose-cheeked lad's lawyer has a pretty good strategy to get the case tossed out. He plans to have the officers identify the Air Biscuit in question out of a group of 20 or so. He's going to keep parading them into ass blast away until the judge can't breathe anymore. He's already got them on a strictly beans and broccoli diet. By the time this case hits the docket, those guys are going to be peeling the paint off the walls. Personally, I think it's a winning strategy. Ah yes, Mr. President, I've heard of that. That's the last airbender defense. I agree, I think it's got a really good chance of working out for him. They may even adapt this case for an episode of Law & Order. That is, unless the fucking cancel culture mob doesn't burn these shows at the stake out of outrage. And look out, Paw Patrol, they're coming after you next. F All In asks, just how massive was it? Like, did he require a discharge permit? F All In, I'm surprised you haven't heard of that, but yeah, that is correct. There are laws against that. You can't just go firing off weapons of ass destruction like Roman candles. E-Assy84 says, he slightly raised himself from the bench, looked at the officers, and patently, in a completely deliberate way, emitted a massive flatulence in their immediate proximity, they said. That's the best description I've read in a long time. Like, I can actually picture word for word how this crime against humanity went down.
I fart in your general direction. Your mother was a hamster, and your father smelt of elderberry.
Leah M. says, nearby birds and insects dropped from the sky. Cats arched their backs, hissed, and tried to swat the stench. Dogs ran over and wanted to roll in it. Small children and babies began to cry. The park bench was singed. An environmental alert had to be posted for the area, and residents were warned to stay inside. The seismic force of the blast was felt as far away as Berlin. Car alarms went off. A lamppost fell over. That was riveting stuff, Leah M. Have you ever thought about writing post-apocalyptic fiction? Yuhavino Ida says, always pick a bench with good tonal qualities. Certain woods have a deep, rich resonance, like a sound box. Fiberglass has great reflective and directional abilities. Aiming. What you are sitting on can even amplify under the right conditions. Choose wisely and you will be able to play everything from the squeaky high notes of the wind instruments to the deep bass notes of the percussion section. Yuhavino Ida, that is some great musical theory for us to all keep in mind if we ever end up in similar situations. Ma RK is back one more time, and he asks, I thought in Germany it's a sign of appreciation and respect. Ma RK, that may be true. The Germans may love the sound of a bum trumpet serenade, but that's not on me to judge. This is Austria. It's a completely different country. Our final comment comes from the Icto R, and he says, playing golf one day several years ago, my not-so-bright friend ripped a large one out and announced he was in dire need of a restroom. But I didn't think he would make it in time, as the clubhouse was on the far side of the course. I motioned toward a massive clump of shrubs and told him to go way behind them and relieve himself if it was indeed that urgent. Impatiently, he barked that he had no tissue paper. I said, well, use $1 then. Great idea, he said, and then dashed behind the shrubs. Later he came out with poo all over his hands and parts of his clothes. Super shocked, I said, what in the world happened? Angrily he replied, you ever tried to wipe your ass with 3 quarters, 2 dimes, and a nickel? Some people's children. Thank you for those words of wisdom, the Icto R. I think we've all grown a lot today having learned of your story. If we ever come across a similar situation, now we know. That is
and knowing is half the battle.
What to do. Like, comment, subscribe. I will see you in the next one. This is Prime, signing out.